This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Okay, let's go ahead, and there's the alarm. It is time to start. Let's open up the door to Daily with Doc. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc. So it's Tuesday. Yes, we're not always here on Tuesday, but we're going to be more consistent on Tuesdays, as there are so many professionals in this industry that truly have figured it out. They've caught the bug as to what is really going on with the desire to not just mask symptoms, but actually find solutions to the things that are ailing us most. And today is like no other day, where we are going to be bringing a doctor to the screen with us. You may have seen her before, but I am super excited to see that more and more younger people are jumping on this thought pattern of, we are not chemically deficient, we're nutrient deficient. And today we are bringing to you Dr. Taylor Mitchell. Now, Dr. Taylor Mitchell has come from a long line of healers and naturopathic physicians, and she finds her grandfather as one of the greatest mentors in being able to figure out solutions to help people, as he also being a naturopathic physician. Now, she's only been doing this for about 6 years, folks. But the thing that I love about that is she is bringing modern information and technology into this whole realm of holistic healing, holistic wellness. And it is with my honor and great privilege, as she is taking time from her vacation and joining us from Italy. Hello, Dr. Taylor Mitchell. Welcome to Daily with Doc.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. It's a huge blessing to be here.
Well, I am so excited as things fall into place. You've got a studio with a great connection and able to join us to share a message that is a little different than what you usually hear on Daily with Doc, in the fact that, you know, we're not just a physical mass. That physical mass actually does more and can benefit or digress from different things that are going on around us physically, mentally, emotionally. So, Dr. Taylor, first, tell us a little bit about your history. What got you into wanting to become a naturopathic physician? And then let's move into our energizing talk for the day.
Great question. Yeah, so it really just chose me. I was very fortunate to grow up close to two naturopathic doctors, my grandparents, who had a clinic, a big clinic, and I witnessed at a young age people get better. I saw people go from a really ill, weak, mentally and physically ill state to a healthy, high vibrational and healthy state. And so I got to witness that. And so, that was a huge blessing because it always fascinated me as a kid. So I was always curious, and I would hear my grandpa talk on the phone to his patients, and I would just literally follow him around as like 13 years old, listening to what he was saying, because it was so amazing. And that's something that I continue to do every day. Naturopathic medicine excites me, and I am so passionate about it, and it's so incredible. And there's so much to learn every single day. Every patient that walks into my clinic or that I see virtually, I learn something from. And because everybody's different and there's so much out there to learn. And so that's really what the whole process to me is that yes, I'm a healer, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a learner and a teacher. That's really what the whole role is. And so, every day I love to just educate people about how to take care of themselves, how to become their own healer. I can only do so much. People have to do it themselves. They have to, heal themselves, and I'll just give them the tools to do so. But really, we have to take our health back into our own hands. YouTube can't help us. We have to help ourselves.
That's right. We can take in all of this information, but we still have to take action on it.
Totally.
And that's things that I love about the Daily with Doc program and being a resource for an amazing community. Because, folks, we are here to help support you and others in getting that information that you can actually take action on by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the doctors that we have here on Daily with Doc is they truly have a passion to get this information out and not just keep it to themselves. So, Dr. Taylor, I totally get being that 13-year-old following somebody around and just being like a sponge and taking in that information. So I love the fact now that you've taken in that information, you continue to take that information, and now you're going to just squeeze a little bit of knowledge out on us today. And let's talk about frequency and our vibration
Yeah.
that we as individuals have. Because I know some people, they walk in the room and you're like, oh, I want to stay clear of that person. Or somebody walks in the room and it's like people just navigate to them.
Mhm.
So, share with us a little bit about that and how our own personal vibrations help in our own health, because it plays a factor there too, right?
Absolutely. It's everything. I mean, everything is energy and vibration. And I like to tell stories about energy and how important it is that we take a really close look and care about our energy field and what's going on in our mind, what things that we're saying. My grandparents have told me since I was young, I've witnessed this. People's tongue can literally kill them when they speak death over themselves, talking about how stupid they are, talking about how their stomach doesn't work. People say, oh, I have congestive heart failure. Saying that is that you're identifying with that, you are creating that. Our words are so powerful. We can perish or prosper by our words, our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And I can give you a few examples. I'll break it up because I know I don't want to tell like 3 stories at a time. But one example is I had a client come to me and she had no health issues whatsoever before, but her daughter started having seizures out of nowhere. And she got so stressed that her whole body broke out into a strep, like her whole body, head to toe, this chronic stress outbreak. It's like a streptococcus is what it was deemed as. Like, it's a strep virus that just took over on her skin. And she couldn't figure out why. And that had potentially been sitting in her system because we all have some type of bacterial overgrowth, viruses and pathogens in our body. But when we're encountering a ton of stress, it's going to come out, it's going to take over. There's many reasons for that. And I have so many different examples of this right here. But that incident happened. Her daughter had seizures. She was so stressed out. Her whole body, I can show you pictures. It's crazy. Her whole body was like bright red, all of her arms, her chest, her legs, all just due to stress. And I've seen people who are in toxic, abusive relationships and they die and they have a heart attack with no pre-existing conditions. They're so stressed out because of their relationship that they literally die. I don't see people die all the time, but I do see it in my practice. I see people who go through a lot of stress and it just kills them. So that's why I think it's so important that we have tools to take care of our mental health, because even if you're eating really healthy, you're exercising, you're getting sunlight, you're deep breathing, and you're supplementing, if you're not really dealing with what's going on, then it will eventually take a toll. So,
I totally agree with that. And, I myself have experienced, you know, how stress can take you from feeling really great to then adding on weight and things that it's like, I got rid of this. How come how come it came
yeah,
back? That
yeah,
type of thing. And
yeah,
just having that environment where you want to make sure that you eliminate toxins. And we're not talking about like the chemical toxins that are in the cleaners. I mean, yeah, those play into it as well. But when you talk about the toxic environment and that stress, that physical, mental, emotional stress, that is something that we have to be aware of.
Yeah, absolutely.
So share another story with us.
Oh man. So, I have so many. Um, really what I'm seeing a lot lately is, okay, this is a good one. I have a friend actually, and she is a massage therapist and also a Reiki healer. Very healthy, very intelligent woman. And she got into a toxic abusive relationship and she had to be hospitalized due to kidney failure
Mm.
because of how stressed she was. And so that was really hard for me to witness because she's so healthy. You know, she takes such good care of herself and her mind and her body, but she, attracted this relationship. And, for whatever reason, the toxic ones are the hardest to get out of for some people. And I see a lot of people develop seizures when they're under a lot of stress for whatever reason. Seizures is a good one. There's a lot of different reasons for that. There's always so many pieces. There's chemicals, of course. There's like, not enough sunlight, not enough hydration, not enough good nutrition, inflammatory foods. And it's really eye-opening for me to be here in Europe because there's not a single obese person. I haven't seen one obese person. And why is that? Because there's no, they don't put chemicals in their food. Europe is very strict about what they allow in their food supply. So they don't use glyphosate, they don't use GMO seeds, they don't use all these chemicals that they use in America, and there's no homeless people either. And so that's really eye-opening too, to see how you take poison out of food and people are healthy. It's just,
Do they thrive?
oh yeah. I haven't
Take the
seen a
poison
single
away
unhealthy
and you can
person.
thrive?
What? Yeah.
You take the poison away and you start to thrive.
Right?
Well,
I
that's
know.
just kind of common sense.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, I love hearing that. I mean, I love when I have the time, I have my own garden back home and I loved to spend time in the garden, not only, barefoot so that I'm grounding, but also being in that fresh air, knowing that what I'm growing is full of nutrition because I'm using those blooming minerals, putting them in the soil, making sure that I'm using organic matter in there, keeping out the toxins that I absolutely can, and using those heirloom seeds that have not been modified. There's
Mhm.
so much we can do as individuals to help ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, you just brought up this story about somebody that's having seizures. And I had somebody reach out to me yesterday. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Who has a young child, I mean, almost 13 years old, that started experiencing seizures. And it's for me, it's heartbreaking to see so many young people
Yeah.
being afflicted.
So many young people. I see many young children who are having seizures. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. So, this individual, there's a 12-year-old son, soon to be 13 next month. He weighs 155 pounds, 5'1". He has non-epileptic seizures, will lose sensation in his body until he's back to himself. He doesn't know how to describe it either, other than he just doesn't feel well and that his body feels weird. And he has had 10 concussions.
Shit. Hey Ben. Oh. Hey Ben. Hey, this sound stopped working.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Oh. Sorry, this sound stopped working. I don't know what happened.
The screen went off.
Okay. How do I keep it on?
Just press here when it comes to sign that it's like with the 60 seconds, but you should probably it won't turn off again till
Hopefully
your
it won't.
meeting
Okay.
is done.
Sorry.
That's all
Can you
right.
hear
Can you
me?
hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened. One of the screens turned off. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Thank you
No
so
worries.
much.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Um, So I don't know how much you heard of what I said.
I didn't.
He doesn't know how to describe other than that he doesn't feel well and his body feels weird and he's had over 10 concussions.
Oh, there you go. It's a huge one.
So do you think that there could be, the toxic environment or more so towards the concussions? I mean, there's a lot of questions that aren't answered there.
Love to ask lots of questions. How many vaccinations has he had? Um, has he been exposed to mold in his life? Which, if you've lived on planet Earth, you've been exposed to mold, fungus in the brain, parasites that get into the brain, and how that happens is there's parasites in the blood and in the body. And when we have a head injury, all the blood rushes to the brain to help the brain. And if there's parasites in the blood, that's how it gets into the brain. Unfortunately, there's heavy metals. There's many different things. There's many different variables. It can be a combination of many different things as well. And not to mention there's fluoride toxicity in the water. And, there's so many different things that can be playing, playing a role here. So I just like to ask a ton of questions and I can help him. And also, I don't know where he is, but neurofeedback is incredible for epilepsy and seizures in particular, along
Mm.
with figuring out what it is, if it's more heavy metals, because so many different things can cause seizures, like toxicity and chemicals in the brain. And there's so many industrial and agricultural chemicals that we're exposed to. There's chemicals in our carpets, there's chemicals in our furniture. And not a lot of people are aware of this, about the toxic load that we were never meant to bear. It's too much for the body. The toxic load, our human body was never meant to bear so much toxicity. So that's, so many variables. So I like to just pinpoint which ones in particular and then go from there.
Yeah. So, Dr. Taylor, you do virtual
Yes.
appointments.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, let's just go ahead and share that information.
Okay. So Dr. Taylor Mitchell at gmail.com, just like I want my name on here, it's Dr. Taylor Mitchell at gmail.com. And you can either message me through WhatsApp. My phone number is 720-412-7744, or you're welcome to text me. And I'm here to help. I mean, I want to help the community. I know that Longevity has so many incredible people that know so many people, and there's only a few doctors I think that are really like, easy access. So I'm more than happy to help people. If you want to reach out to me, would love to help because there's so many people who need healing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that information.
You're
Because
welcome.
we want to make sure that people are able to get information that they need that's going to help them.
Yeah.
So not just the supplements, because the supplements are very important, but also the information that helps them to pinpoint what might be externally causing things that are going on within themselves. So, Dr. Taylor, let's go back to that vibration, that
Yeah.
frequency.
Yes. I love
So,
longevity because people operate at a high frequency, like people like Ben Fuchs and Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden. And, it's a high vibration that they bring to the table, which is why so many people get so inspired by their message.
and when you talk about high vibration of a person, can you share a little more about what that means?
Yeah. Like you mentioned earlier, whenever somebody walks into the room, either you're like, oh, my gosh, this person has got some stuff going on up there, or they have such a wonderful presence, or people are in the middle, it's like not terrible, not amazing. And I would say that we've all been through trauma in this lifetime. And if we don't resolve our trauma, if we don't, see a therapist or seek out many different healing modalities, there's so much out there. There's so much more than just regular therapy, which I'm not saying I don't like regular therapy, but it doesn't work for everyone. Not everybody fully heals. Some people heal miraculously from it, and that's incredible, but not everybody does. And so there's things like wilderness therapy, there's eco psychology, there's many different types of therapists and ways that people can and tools that we have. And I'm also trained in a hands-on healing modality, and I help people with emotional health as well. But we all have to do the inner work. And how you identify a person who's got a lot of intense energy is somebody who doesn't do the work, because we've all been exposed to trauma. And when we don't heal ourselves and we don't, engaging in things like women's circles and men's work and men's circles, that's what our ancestors did. That's why they live so much longer than we do, because we're in a safe space to process our stuff. We have got to talk to somebody about what's going on, the skeletons in our closet, the demons from our past and our trauma. Because if we don't, it will eat us alive. And people that come in and see me, they have this unexplained inflammation that they've had their entire lives, and they have no idea, this chronic back pain. And there's not really a reason for them to have this back pain. And that's oftentimes trauma that's stored in the cells and the tissues. And whenever we go through trauma, it's a very negative energy and vibration. And whenever you're around certain people and they're just, I know, I'm related to some. Every time I talk to them, they are so worried about the future or these what if situations that will probably never happen, but they're so worried all the time. And how does that affect them? They're sick all the time, they're overweight, they don't have a lot of healthy relationships in their life. Oftentimes, they're not attracting a lot of abundance in their life because at a low vibration, you can't really attract high vibrational things and people into your life. So we always want to raise our vibration as much as possible. I strive to live at a high frequency as much as possible. What does that look like, and how do I do that? I spend as much time in nature as I possibly can. I leave my phone in the car and I go and I hike up to a waterfall and I deep breathe and just inhale and exhale doesn't actually do the job nearly as much as like inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds. Try that for a few minutes if you're going through something really heavy. That's a way to really push things out. So just tools like that, because inhale and exhale doesn't fully do the job for whatever reason, but doing that pause for some reason just makes a huge difference. And having things like an infrared sauna or a regular meditation practice will help clear space in our energetic field that's not serving us, like, thoughts and traumas. And if we have toxic thoughts, we've got to do something about it. So, when you wake up in the morning, don't just jump on your phone. Um, do something about your mental health and take care of your body and your mental health. And, do some deep breathing, do some stillness, do some gratitude, get out in the sun. Sun is pure light energy. The highest vibration that we have access to is the sun. We have got to be in the sun. So there's so many things we can do, of course, and also high vibrational foods. So organic as possible. Make sure you're eating a wide variety of healthy fruits and vegetables. Not enough people eat fruit, and fruit itself is a really high vibration, and we need to eat fruit. I think a lot of people are sick because they don't eat fruit. That everybody's told us stop eating fruit because there's too much sugar, but our DNA is made from sugar, so we need it in healthy sources. So everybody, I want you to go to the grocery store and get in the organic fruit section and eat fruit. I'm sorry if you're on a keto diet. I don't want to push you out of your lifestyle routine here, but fruit is extremely healing. So we got to eat it.
Well, there's berries, blackberries,
Yeah.
raspberries, blueberries, all those things. They have the sugar, but they have the fiber that helps to, reduce those net carbs.
Yes.
But yeah, I was raised on a peach orchard or in a
Oh,
peach orchard.
wow. That's why you're so beautiful. You got
And
access to all that fruit.
yeah, but I've kind of been lacking on the sun lately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nothing compares to fruit that is grown right, and the flavor and those phytonutrients in addition to the natural sugars.
Yeah.
So, all right, I get that. Fantastic. So as we're looking at the vibrations and those negative emotions, those things that we're angry about, those things that we fear, how does that lower your vibration that then can affect your health?
Great question. So there's many different kinds of stress. There's good stress and there's bad stress. Good stress is things like exercise or Thanksgiving, you know, you're with your family and you're cooking this big meal and it's a little bit of stress, but then you eat and you're relaxed, you know, that's good stress. Then there's bad stress. There's, you know, you just broke up with your boyfriend, somebody really close to you died, you are really struggling financially. And whenever we experience these negative emotions, it is aging us. Our cells, each cell is an intelligent being with our trillions of cells that we have. They're awake, they're listening, they're paying attention, and they're intelligent, and they are working for us. But whenever we start to experience a lot of negative emotions all the time, our cells are affected. Like I just mentioned, stress can kill you. People don't live long as much as they used to. I think it's because we don't have a lot of tools. You know, one of the reasons is because we don't have stress management tools, and everything in this world seems like it's meant to stress us out. But what stress can do is it can raise our cortisol levels, and that can become elevated and it releases into the blood, and that can contribute to obesity, inflammation, high blood pressure, and hypertension. People that come to me with hypertension and high blood pressure, the first question I ask them is, who in your life is raising your blood pressure? And they always have somebody. I mean, like, oh, my wife, my sister, like, you know, it's always somebody around them who's raising their blood pressure, because it's affecting us. And the Chinese body clock, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that. There's like different times of healing and things like that. But also what Chinese medicine has been teaching us for thousands of years is each emotion is attached to an organ. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. But the liver, you know, if you experience a lot of anger, then it's going to affect the liver, and vice versa. If you're angry all the time, then your liver might be affected. So it kind of works both ways. So anger can hurt the liver, and we're expressing anger because our liver might be affected. Isn't that interesting? And if we're hypercritical, then arthritis can show up. That's one of the signs of being hypercritical all the time is arthritis. And deep grief can store in the stomach. And so, you know, and negative emotions and low frequency can actually like destroy our friendly bacteria, which is our immune system. It's what protects us from chemicals and from, you know, toxins and things like that. So stress can literally destroy your friendly bacteria and many, many other things. I mean, if you're stressed out, your back's going to start hurting. I can tell you a story. When I first moved to Colorado, I met this guy, and he was at the time one of the most attractive men I've ever seen in my life, but I can tell he was a little crazy, and I didn't care. He was so handsome, I decided to date him anyway. And even though his family warned me, I didn't listen. I had to learn my lesson. I gained so much weight. I probably gained 20 pounds. And I developed chronic back pain for the first time in my life. My back hurt. And why? It's because I was always stressed out all the time because this guy was just always freaking out. And that affected me, my physical body. So that's how stress can affect us in many other ways. It also can damage the brain. It can damage, you know, so many systems of the body are affected by stress. And our cells are intelligent. And whenever we're experiencing hate towards others, we actually can have a heart attack. Whenever we are like hateful all the time and projecting hate onto people, literally our cells don't recognize your body as a safe environment. And that's how our cells will turn on us if we're turning on, like it's how it works. Like that's how energy and vibration works. Like what we're putting out there will come back to us. So does that make
The
sense?
energy that we have, can that affect our blood cells and how that they respond within the body?
Absolutely.
So like if somebody has a blood disorder and they have high cortisol levels, is that something that is affected emotionally, not always nutritionally?
Oh yeah.
That can
I would
that can
say
be addressed.
every physical imbalance has an emotional root. So there's like every person that sees me, I don't just treat them nutritionally and tell them what to eat, what not to eat, and what supplements to take. I always leave people with tons of tools of how to take care of their mental health. I send people guided meditations. I can even send guided meditations that are particular to what you're going through. Um, in person, like I said, I have this tool that I did one session, and I let go of all my body dysmorphia, and I let go of a lot of anger that I got from my father. Love him so much, but my father has a lot of anger, and so do my sisters. And I was able to let go of all that anger. I don't have to be angry anymore. And so we have these things and we can let go of them. They don't have to be who we are. But people say, oh, he's angry. He doesn't have to be. but there's tools that we don't have access to that we can let this stuff go. So there's always an emotional root in some way or another, to every health challenge, actually.
Looking back, I can totally see that in my
Yeah.
own life.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, folks, we just want to make sure that if you're hearing this message, you're hearing it because you are not the only one who needs to hear this message. So please share this video, whether you're here live with us, which is absolutely fantastic. We are live now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on Daily with Doc by going to dailywithdoczoom.com from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time is what our time is at this time. But share this message. This could be that key, that missing link to somebody being able to break free from some of those poor health conditions that are literally killing them. And I think Dr. Taylor, I mean, she's experienced stuff on her own, not just speaking from a book, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So young, but still, you have those life experiences that you've been able to go through. Because I had a mentor remind me, life doesn't happen to us; it
Yes.
happens for us,
Yes. Yes. Love that.
and
We're not
we're able
victims.
to learn and grow.
Every challenge that we met is an opportunity to get stronger and become resilient. And the more resilient we can become, and if somebody were to come up to you right now that you love and say really hurtful things to you, it does not have to affect you. We can all get to a place where we have a bulletproof mindset and energy field. We take such good care of our energy that no matter what somebody says or does to us, it doesn't have to affect us. And I'm not saying that death's not going to hurt, because it totally will, but it doesn't have to ruin your life.
Oh, absolutely. I've had a few that, kind of they strike out, and all I can do is my heart goes out to them because I know somebody has hurt them.
Yeah.
That it may not be me personally, but it's the hurt within them, and I'm just, the bouncing board for that. So
Yeah.
not taking things so personally, folks,
Yes,
has
exactly.
been an incredible lesson for myself. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So we do have questions that have come in. We have AJ with his hand up. So let's go ahead and answer some questions. And folks, if you're here live with us and you would like to ask a question, you may do so by raising that virtual hand. If you are on the phone and you would like to ask a question, that is a possibility as well. If you hit *9, that will raise your virtual hand. And then when you're called upon, we'll ask you to unmute and you do *6, or is it #6, AJ?
*6,
*6.
*9.
*9. Then we'll be able to have you unmute and ask your questions as well. So, AJ, what questions do you have for Dr. Taylor Mitchell?
Thank you, Miss Becca. Dr. Taylor Mitchell, thank you for joining us from your holiday. We really
Oh, yes.
appreciate you being with us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Nice to meet you, AJ.
Same here. I have a couple questions for you. Just, I know you mentioned that, you know, you don't only suggest nutrition for some of your folks. I'm wondering, uh, what is your favorite longevity nutritional product that or most commonly suggested product, and then what tools do you use to help folks? Like, for example, I've read about some 4-7-8 breathing technique. What tools do you incorporate to help folks?
Good question. So there's I can actually see if I can post it on here, but there's this guided meditation that I had all this stress recently come my way. I had a death in my family, somebody very close to me, and just out of nowhere, no pre-existing health conditions, just die. And doing this breathing, I felt that heaviness in my chest just leave my body. And you can do the guided meditation, or like I mentioned, that those 4 seconds increments, 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. And you can even do longer, of course. Some people don't really do deep breathing very often, so they don't have like, the ability to take longer deep breaths. But the longer the better, because deep breathing is so powerful. And also tapping on the chest. Stand up, tap on the chest, try to smile and move your body. That sounds a little cliche. Just deep breathe. And I was, I go to, whenever I'm stressed out, I go to nature. And nature is so cleansing. It has such a high vibration with all those negative electrons. Nature is the most healing, in my opinion. Like if I don't have nature, I just will like a little dead flower. That's about my personal opinion about how people can clear stuff is get out in nature, take some deep breaths, be in the sun, take your shoes off, and keep breathing until you feel better. And it might take some time. That's one way to move through stuff. And like I mentioned, the tapping and the moving, move through stuff.
Do you have a website with these guided meditations?
Yeah, let me see. Actually, I turned my phone off because people kept calling me during this. But let me turn it back on. It's called I'm pretty sure the app's called Insight Timer. Let me see if I can post it on here. I would love to do that. I'll message it to Rebecca immediately, because this is a tool that I used, and that I had something that was so traumatic and so stressful happen, and I felt so much peace from just literally 9 minutes total of this meditation. So I would love to share that with everybody, because if you can actually do it, it's so powerful. So let me go ahead and find it.
So do you work mostly with children, or?
Oh, so my youngest patient is 1, and my oldest patient is 93. So I work
Okay,
with
so it's
everyone.
great. Okay, and do you suggest nutrition to any of these folks, or is it more of a holistic energy type of?
I do both. I mean, everybody needs nutrition. Everybody needs to cleanse toxicity from their blood, from their cells and tissues. Everybody needs nutrition that their body can absorb. So I have a cleansing and nurturing protocol, and you gotta cleanse, because some people have such terrible, weak digestion that they can't absorb nutrition. I see that very often, and I'm trying to educate people and practitioners in particular about this, because longevity is different. I don't have to say that you can't take longevity. For the most part, some people really can't, because they haven't been able to have a bowel movement in a year. I wouldn't recommend supplements to those people. I really wouldn't. But there's so much crap out there, and all these capsules people are taking. And if they're not 90% absorbable, or 99% absorbable like longevity, they are causing people more harm, because they don't have the ability to break it down, and it stores in the lower intestine and can cause free radicals and inflammation, and can just sit in the gut and rot if people can't absorb their nutrients, if they're not eliminating. So it's really important that people are aware of this, that you can't just say take these supplements, they're gonna fix you, because if people aren't able to have a bowel movement, they're not absorbing, and if something's just sitting and rotting in the gut, that's not going to help. You got to cleanse the body, and oftentimes it's emotions as well. So there's always both. So I do both. Always. I always get people on nutrition, but also they have to do the work, the inner work as well, because you can't just take supplements and think all your issues are going to go away if you haven't resolved what's going on inside,
And so I guess without taking up too much more time,
No problem.
what about things like rife? Is that part of
Mm.
what you're dealing with, or Hawkins, or any of these types of popular understandings that we have now?
Thank you for asking. I actually just got a Rife machine.
Oh,
I
so
love
you get
Rife.
the
It's so
spooky?
amazing. So my grandparents actually ran a cancer clinic for 20 years, and they used the Rife machine, and they had incredible results. And of course, they also did emotional therapy, because my grandparents have been saying since day one that it's emotional as well. With things like cancer, it's their word, it's their emotions, it's the stuff that's trapped inside their body that's causing them cancer, that's literally turning cancerous, as well as all this poison that we're exposed to. That's, so if you're exposed to toxicity on a daily basis, like we are, literally, there's not hundreds, but oftentimes thousands of chemicals that we're exposed to on a daily basis in our water, in our food, in our products, in our homes. Like there's mold, it's crazy. And like personal care items and things like that. And then you add stress to it. Of course, people are going to get sick. Of course, we're going to see inflammation, tissue destruction, and disease. It's just only a matter of time. I just put, yeah, Rebecca just shared the guided meditation. That right there is such a powerful tool. Everybody just try it. I always tell people, I'm like, even if this is, might sound woo-woo to people that aren't into like health and stuff, but what does it hurt to try? It's free. What will it hurt? So, and the
Okay.
Rife machine is incredible because what it can do is it can like read, so like there's bacteria and viruses and cancer cells. What that Rife will do is it will read the virus and its energy, and it will give it that same exact energy back, and that's how it eradicates. It's so incredible, the technology, how it works. It also can help with your emotions. It can help with inflammation. It can help with chronic pain. It helps with parasites. It helps with STDs. I see so many people with herpes. The reason I got my own Rife machine is because I kept referring so many patients to practitioners with Rife machines, because the word got out that I help people with genital herpes and other STDs. And so like, okay, well, go see this practitioner. And I was like, wait a second, why don't I just get one myself? Because I love it. So that's how that happened.
Well, you're fantastic. I look to see a lot more of you in the future.
Oh, likewise. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, AJ. Now, Dr. Taylor, after we get people through, the detoxification and cleansing, I know Longevity has quite a few products that help with that. Do you mind sharing a quick little, a short little longevity protocol that you would recommend for somebody?
Yeah. So I first and foremost think that intermittent fasting is the single best way to detox. It activates your body's cleanup crew. And so go a day without eating. I know it's going to be so hard, but that's one of the ways to cleanse out toxins. And I know the liver protocol, Longevity has that. That's a really good one. The good herbs, if you can take those, they have really great ones as well. So, and also, the nutrition itself can be very cleansing. So it's really important that we take it like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. My personal favorite product, you asked that and I don't think I answered, is the Ultra Body Toddy, the liquid. It has all the 90, like it has like 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and a bunch of other amazing things, and it's liquid. Since so many people have really weak digestive tracts and they don't have enough good bacteria and so much bad bacteria, so they can't absorb anything. Some people have a hard time for whatever reason with the tangy tangerine. Not everybody. I know I love the tangy tangerine. I drink it and I love it. But so many people, for whatever reason, I'm sure if you're a practitioner and you see a lot of patients, you will see that some people have a hard time. But I've never had a single person have a hard time with the Ultra Body Toddy. So if you can get that in, that's my personal go-to, because I haven't had a single issue. And like, I've been actually recommending Longevity for almost 8 years now. So that's a product that I'm so confident with, and I love that product. And also
I
the
like,
fastest way. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I like the Ultra Body Toddy too. It also has that cell shield
Cell shield.
blend.
Oh my gosh, that freaking immune builder, cell shield
Yes.
RT2. And also the fastest way to detox if you're clogged up in your stomach and you can't eliminate and you have got a lot of excess weight you can't lose, I recommend colon hydrotherapy, particularly a closed system. I don't know if you guys have done that, but you can lose 15 pounds of toxins in one session. I'm not even kidding. It's happened. So that's the fastest way to detox. And so that's something I recommend if people have a really hard time eliminating and have toxic sewer back up in their body. That's a way just to get it out. You can literally see it. You can see the toxins and the parasites leave your body. It's amazing.
That's crazy. Crazy. It's one thing I haven't done. So we have Joe, and he mentioned this whenever you were talking about not being able to have a bowel movement, for an extended amount of time. He says that was me. My stomach was jacked up, healed now. So Thank you, Joe, for sharing that. He also has a question: is autophagy for real?
Is what?
Autophagy? A-U-T-O
Autophagy?
autophagy. Thank you. That's it.
Let me look it up really quick.
A-U-T-O-P-H-A-G-Y. Autophagy.
In what context? What do you mean, is it real?
That's a great question.
Oh,
So
so like
what
in
do
terms of fasting?
I don't know. He
I'm
hasn't
just
responded
curious in
yet.
what regard. Yeah, autophagy is real. It's your body's, I mean, I'm just sorry. I'm just not sure what he means by is it real?
Yeah, no worries. No worries, because that could take us in a whole episode in
Autophagy,
itself.
it
So
allows your body to break down and reuse old cell parts so your cells can operate more efficiently. The natural conserved degradation of the cell that removes unnecessary dysfunctional components through liposome dependent. So, I mean, it just feels like I've seen this before when it comes to fasting. It activates the body's own autophagy. It's absolutely real. I haven't heard that term in a really long time. I was like, autophagy? Been a really long time since I've heard that word. So yeah, it's definitely real.
all right, thank you so much. Let's go to area code 818. You could go ahead and unmute yourself, please. And say hello.
Hi, Becca, and
Hi.
this is Carrie B. I heard Taylor's testimony. I'm sorry, I've only been on the call since about 12:30, but I heard Taylor's testimony on one of the Saturdays, and she talked about having difficulty losing weight and knowing that part of it was from some words that her family had put out there, and she had a way of combating that. And I was very curious. I was going to reach out to her about that, but I just wondered if she could talk to it a little bit right now on the call.
Yeah, thank you. So this modality that I discovered, it's called access consciousness, and it's very woo-woo. It's, for the regular person for the first time having no information about health whatsoever, and they go into this, they're like, what the heck? I can tell you some stories that will change your life just hearing this. But I struggled with body dysmorphia my entire life because my aunt, my grandma, my uncle, and my mom would constantly pick my body apart without even realizing it. They would, like, as a teenager, they would just tell me, hey, like, you're eating too much ice cream, you're blowing up, like your stomach doesn't look very good, like, just like they would just comment on my body. And it affected me to the point where I had so much body dysmorphia that it was literally like it drove me crazy many times. Like I went crazy. I'm not even kidding you. Like that's my boyfriend. Like I was so angry one time about my body. I literally punched the wall. That's how bad it got. I like to be honest and vulnerable, because that's just honestly.
Yeah.
So I did one session of this called Access Consciousness, and I literally let go of my body dysmorphia, and I do not care anymore. And I know that sounds crazy. I can't say it's 100% gone. I would say it's about 90% gone. But that's enough for me to live my life and not worry about it anymore. I'm like, I love my body. I look how I look. I take care of myself. I live my life and I enjoy my life. And this is how I look. And is the way that it is. I have that mindset now. But that's what I did. And I know there's definitely tools out there that can help you with that. Where are you, by the way?
I'm in California, and I'm
Okay.
also an ND, so it's not as far woo-woo,
Okay, great.
from
Yeah,
our
so
learning.
access consciousness.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
my family, I had a grandmother that told me that because she knew my paternal grandmother, that I would have a weight problem all of my life. And she would say that. She's been saying it she had said it since I was a small kid. But even when I was a teenager, competitive swimmer, super skinny, all I thought was that I was huge, and and now that I'm, much older, yes, I've had a weight problem all my life, even when I didn't have a weight problem,
Yeah.
And when you talked about that, I was like, that is the missing link, because even when I've gotten thin, I didn't stay thin,
Yeah.
And being in this business, I want to well represent the miracle of this nutrition. I want to well represent the miracle that it's been in my life. And I know that that's a huge piece of it, but I also know that, like what you're speaking about, there is that spiritual, emotional, energetic piece of it that is, something that people don't always address. But having that go through my life of, you're going to have a weight problem all your life, has been a constant thread. So I really want to hear what you have.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. And this is another thing when it comes to energy and vibration. So words have an energy and a vibration. And she transferred that belief onto you, and you had that belief, so it became your reality. And that was not yours, that was hers. That doesn't belong to you. That belief does not belong to you, but she implanted that into you. And so that became, that's what's manifested. That's how energy and vibration works. It's like our thoughts and our words are so powerful that they carry vibration, and it becomes the reality. And so letting go. And if you actually, you know what, I would like to talk to you on the phone. I would like to, if you'd like, get my number and my email address, however you want to reach out to me. Right now, until the 29th, I'm in Europe. And so I'm only at a small window to where I can talk on the phone or text, because I don't have service. I decided not to buy the $400 for the month of having a plan here. I was like, I'm gonna be off my phone as much as possible. What a perfect excuse. So email is easier for me. So if you want to email me, and there's a lot of tools that I can help you with, because this is something that you don't have to live with. And like for myself, I actually did struggle with a little bit of a belly. I'm sure people in longevity that knew me 8 years ago, they saw it. Like I did like carry on this weight because of those words that were given to me as a child. My aunt told me that I'll never have an attractive stomach when I was 20 years old. And she's wrong. I'm like, I love my stomach. What's wrong with you? So you don't have to live with that. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. And there's things that we can do. And I'd love to share a phone call with you, because I feel like I'd like to ask more questions and just kind of like get more of an intimate experience with you, and also hear more about you, because I love that you're a naturopath. And thank you so much for choosing this path. We need more people like you. There's such a high demand for people like us. And there's not enough practitioners who really get it. People are still getting medical doctorates, unfortunately. It's like we need people like you out there, and people like Rebecca, and people like in the longevity community that want to help people. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thanks.
Yes, Dr. Carey. So I do plan on having Dr. Carey join us too. Just hint, hint. And be part of the Daily with Doc broadcasting. People don't realize how words affect them and others. And I can relate to that. I really can. That's why we as parents, as caregivers, aunts, uncles, friends, really need to pay attention about the words that are coming out of our mouth and how they can be affecting those around us, especially the younger generations.
Yes.
Or an older. I mean, words to somebody in their 70s and 80s can affect them just like to a child, right?
Yeah.
So I know I need to be aware, more cautious myself. And I do. It's like, because I remember those times of, those words that weren't always encouraging and building up, and how, looking back, yeah, that could be part of what has affected me now, or 8 years ago. So, as we're coming to the close, if you were working with somebody who has a history of some mental stress, they don't eat right, but they're willing to go with a better way of eating and adapting with Dr. Wallach's 10 good foods, bad foods list, and wanting on a supplement program, what would you start them with using the longevity product line?
I mean, my go-to, like I mentioned, is the Ultra Body Toddy, and then the EFAs. Those are my favorite products. If you want taste, actually, everybody who comes into my clinic, I leave them with Rebound. Rebound is so good. It tastes so freaking good. And it's so incredible. And people, I personally don't recommend coffee because coffee has a lot of, unfortunately, for a lot of people, there's a term in Chinese medicine called heart heat. And I'm one who's prone to heart heat. So if I were to drink coffee, I would feel so much anxiety and I wouldn't be able to sleep. A lot of people have that. And that also will heighten my anger. Like it will contribute over time. So a lot of people struggle with that. You can tell by looking at the tongue. If there's some redness on your tongue, then you probably have some heart heat. And so I know Dr. Brandy mentioned that the tongue and the eyes, and it's really amazing how you can identify so much about what's going on. But so Rebound, because green tea extract has green tea extract in it. Out of all the caffeine sources in the world, green tea is the only one who doesn't create heart heat. Doesn't cause more heart heat. And so that's why I love Rebound. It gives you so much nutrients, like 115 different nutrients in there. Tastes amazing. It gives people energy. People always are like, oh my God, I loved it. I had so much energy. I went to the gym for 2 hours. That's a way for people just to see instant results. So Rebound, I highly recommend Rebound. Longevity has a ton of incredible products. It's hard for me to pinpoint any of them because there's so many good ones. But the tangy tangerine's amazing, of course. It tastes so good and it's so powerful. And also another powerful product I think is really underappreciated longevity is the Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets. Those have 116,000 ORAC score.
160,000 ORAC
Dear
score.
God, that's so powerful. That's oxygen radical absorbent capacity. That's a high frequency. That's high energy, by the way. So start using those, implementing those, because those are powerful. Yeah, and I love the Z Radical. It tastes incredible. And it's also really incredible for your thyroid. It's great for your immune system. So those are some of my go-tos.
So here's a question for you, because I know that the nutrients have energy. Do you use kinesiology in helping to determine whether or not your product is right or not right for somebody?
Absolutely. I have everybody who walks into my office bring me all their supplements, all their protein powders, and all their medications that they're currently using. And I muscle test them on there. And of course, every time people bring medication, their body just goes weak, like nothing they can do is going to keep their arm up. Same with their cell phone. That's the best. I always start with the cell phone because no matter what, unless they have radiation protection on their cell phone, it's going to weaken their body. Also, those Apple Watches emit a lot of radiation, and those weaken the body as well. And
Just Apple or all of
so I
the
feel like there's other watches. I'm not sure. I think it's a great question. If they have if they emit radiation because they're not connected to a Bluetooth, it's the Bluetooth, and it's the fact that your watch is in communication with your phone. It's always attached to your body. People sleep with it, and so that can affect their cells and things like that. But I always, I start people off with testing their cell phone because they can see what a no looks like. It's no, your body's weak, so they can see that this works.
Yeah,
it works. That kinesiology stuff works. It's amazing.
Yes, it does. I mean, because people, and there's different ways to do that muscle testing using kinesiology. I highly recommend folks get with Dr. Taylor Mitchell or one of our other doctors that uses that kinesiology and make sure that the products that you have going on with you are best fitted for you as an individual, which I think is important because and I love the fact that longevity has come out with these different versions of the multivitamin multi-complex, the different versions of the tangy tangerine, which includes the ultra body toddy, the ultimate toddy, or ultimate tangy tangerine, ultimate classic, the tangy tangerine original with the blue lid, the 2.0, the 2.5, the tablets. We're meeting people where they're at and making sure that there's a form that they can utilize, because like you mentioned, if somebody's digestive system is jacked up, they're not going to have the absorption that somebody who's not. And then looking at the the supplements, whether it's over the counter, doctor prescribed, nothing has the absorbability as the longevity. And that's because of the form of the vitamins and how they're synergistically blended.
For sure. And one thing
That
I do
is,
want to mention is that if you are wanting to sign people up and get them on our products, most people like the taste of the 2.0 better, and I'm one of them. I like the 2.0 taste. And so I think that a lot of people have a better time getting turned on to our products. I'm sure it's an opinion. Some people might love the 2.5. But if you really want to turn people on to the taste and not only the nutrition, it's like the nutrition's incredible and amazing and unbelievable, but actually tastes good. It's like, oh, this is a nice, luxurious drink while I'm at the gym. You know, I like to
yeah.
drink mine at the gym. It's just like while I'm in between reps, it's like I get to drink this delicious drink, you know? So,
Yeah. I bounce around. I'll
yeah.
do like yesterday, I did a 2.5 with the Osteo FX. I put some collagen in there and
There you
some
go.
of the collagen hair, skin, and nails. Mix that all up and drink it through the day. In the evenings, I'll do a shot of either the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine, which is a liquid concentrate, or the Ultra Body Toddy, which is a liquid concentrate, with the Osteo FX liquid, and not, I mean, EFAs, at least 4 per day, minimum 4 per
Mm-hmm.
day on the EFAs. So they all play a very, very important, in fact, impactful part of nutrition within the body. But as Dr. Taylor mentioned, you've got to make sure that you've got your vibration and your frequency right, and let go of those things that have been haunting you and have been keeping you from reaching your optimal best. Dr. Taylor Mitchell, thank you so much for taking time out of your holiday as you are in Europe and enjoying. I love the pictures.
Oh,
I
thank
love the
you.
picture. So keep them coming, and we look forward to seeing you in July. So today is kind of a kickoff of having Dr. Taylor Mitchell as one of our regulars here on Daily with Doc and Becca, and she has chosen the second Tuesday of the month. So we know that schedules happen, but we appreciate you just being so dedicated to the cause and the community and being part of the resource that we offer here on Daily with Doc.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Rebecca. It's such a blessing to be on here with you. I love the longevity community so much. It's such a huge blessing to me in my life. And so it's an honor to just be on board. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. I agree. It is an honor. And I just want to invite my co-hosts on with me because I could not do this without them. And I want to thank Dr. Wallach. I saw he is listening as well. So thank you, Dr. Wallach, for investing time into listening and hearing what all's going on. As you started this crusade, Doc, we want to thank you for continuing to support the crusade as well. Well, today we have on with us Marilyn, who, folks, if you're not live and you don't have that chat on, or if you are live with us, you are missing out on the information that Marilyn is able to transcribe and dictate on into that chat, which is only available in the chat here. We don't make, for the privacy of our listeners, we don't make that available to the regular streaming social media audiences. So that's a benefit. Thank you, Marilyn, for doing that. We have on my executive production manager who helps keep us organized and make sure everything is flowing in communication. And we have AJ, who has helped put this message out on so many different platforms that it is absolutely infallible that I would have this program out in the world like it is today. I notice we have Coach Rod Wiggins, who's helping keeping an eye on the cameras, also letting people in, out on social media. Folks, it takes a tribe to be able to support the world and making sure that they are getting information that's going to be valuable and helpful to them. So I hope today's program added a little additional insight into what could be affecting your health and the importance of nutrition as well, and removing those blocks that could be keeping you from reaching your optimal best. Dr. Taylor, did you have a closing statement you'd like to add?
Yes. So one of the most important things that we have in this life is self-love. And I want everybody right now to repeat after me. I love myself just the way I am.
I love myself just the way I am.
Most people, whenever they say that, it feels like glass in their throat. It's like so hard to say. We've never said it before. We never thought that before. Most people have like, no, I don't feel that way. But if you can continue to say that and continue to give yourself compassion and love, then you can really ultimately heal and heal others as well. So that's one of the ways we can do that, is heal others, is forgive ourselves, forgive others, love ourselves, and try to live at a vibration of love, because healing can happen at a high vibration of love. It can't happen at a low vibration of like self-hate. So I think, unfortunately, we live in a world where most people experience self-hate. It's really sad. That's unfortunately the case. So just whatever steps we can do to incorporate more self-love, whatever that looks like, that's my closing statement.
Thank you so much. Very, very good advice that the best of us need to be reminded of, for sure. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
received that. I received that. Thank you, Dr. Taylor Mitchell, and thank you everybody for joining us here on dailywithdoc.com. Please get back with the person that shared this program with you. Like I said, we are a resource for an amazing community. We want to make sure that the person that took the time to share this message with you, one, knows that you actually watched it, and two, share with them what you liked best about the program, what caught your interest most. And if you are not already on a program, tell them, I'm ready. I am ready to get on a program to find my optimal best, both physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And that physical part includes the nutrition. Also, if you have never spoken with anybody before and you found this program because you're part of our newsletter or just surfing around and found one of our programs, and you would like to get in contact with a certified holistic health coach, you've never spoken with anybody before, feel free to give our call team a call at 855-949-3377. Or if you prefer email, you can do questions@dailywithdoc.com for questions that you'd like to have answers to in regards to what would be a good protocol based on Dr. Wallach's research and formulas. We can get that to you. And if you'd like more information about how you can join us and help your community as well, email info@dailywithdoc.com. My name is Becca Dukes. It is my honor and privilege to bring this show to you each and every week. Let us know where you're at. Send us a high five, a love, a like, follow, and don't forget to share. Bye for now. Oh, and for those of you who go to Contact in the Desert, yes, Dr. Wallach will be there, along with myself and some of our team. See you then. educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health